about to come. When I come, I rub my dick across her gums. She love me cause I'm all about funds and having fun. Broke her ass for a honey bun. Had to hit me back, she had to.
The car ride back from the bonfire was quiet. Too quiet for Hinata, whose heart was still thumping like he'd just finished a 5-set match. The images from the flames were burned into his skull. Kageyama smiling like he hadn't in weeks. At someone else. The way his body relaxed under Sugawara's touch. How he leaned in, not flinching when another man got close. Now, walking into the Golden Villa for the first time as a single. Technically, felt surreal. The sun had just dipped under the ocean's edge, casting a deep orange glow across the courtyard. Palm leaves rustled above. There was the faint smell of grilled fruit and salt water. It should have felt like paradise. Instead, Hinata felt like his chest was too tight, too loud. He barely took 3 steps past the front door before a familiar voice stopped him. So, you gonna talk about it, or just let it rot in your chest? Hinata looked up and froze. Tsukishima K, tall and golden under the lantern light, leaned against the doorway to the pool deck, arms crossed. Expression unreadable but eyes sharp. As always, Hinata blinked. Talk about what? The bonfire. You're still fuming. I can smell it. Hinata's jaw tensed. It wasn't fuming, just confusing. Kageyama was smiling. I haven't seen him smile like that in weeks. Tsukishima pushed off the wall, walking over. Deliberate but not aggressive, just close enough to feel like a slow inhale. He didn't smile like that at you. Ha! Hinata's breath hitched. It's whatever. This is what we signed up for. Right? It's supposed to hurt. No, it's supposed to make you think. Hinata turned his head away, jaw clenched, but Tsukishima was already circling, not predatory, just observant, like he was reading Hinata the same way he'd read plays back in high school. You wanna know what I saw? No, I saw a guy who's been sleeping next to a partner who stopped reaching for him. Hinata flinched. And I saw you watching him like you were begging for scraps. The silence that followed wasn't awkward. It was heavy. Hinata's voice broke a little. We were supposed to be each other's person. Maybe he was your person. For that version of you. The high school you. The you that didn't know you needed more. Hinata looked up then. Not angry. Not defensive. But something vulnerable and dangerous. And what? You think you know what I need now? Tsukishima stepped even closer. There was almost no space between them now. His voice dropped. No, but I think I've grown enough to find out. Hinata didn't step back. He didn't say no. Hinata's breath caught in his throat. His hands had curled into fists again. Not from anger, but something closer to panic. Or grief. His chest was rising too fast. And he hated it. Hated how Tsukishima was looking at him like he saw through every crack he was trying to patch together. That was when a tall, lanky shadow suddenly popped in beside them. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are we making Hinata cry? What the hell? Sucky. Tsukishima rolled his eyes but didn't back down. Hinata blinked up, startled. Lev was towering over him with a confused, worried look, brushing his silver hair from his forehead like he was ready to fight someone or hug them. Possibly both. I'm not crying, yet, he said, plopping dramatically down beside him on the sun-warmed stone, bumping Hinata's shoulder with his own. But it's okay if you do. It just means you're hot and emotionally intelligent. Hinata let out a choked half laugh. What does that even mean? It means I'd kiss you even if you were sobbing into my shirt. You'd kiss a cactus. Shut up. Hinata's adorable. Look at him. He's glowing, even when he's about to have a mental breakdown. Before Tsukishima could throw back a retort, the third presence made itself known. It was quieter this time, heavier. Aon Takanobu had stepped into the courtyard unnoticed. He wasn't loud. He didn't interrupt. He just sat down across from Hinata and looked at him, steady, present. Hinata felt it. That strange pressure Aon carried, not aggressive, just grounding, like a boulder planted in the middle of a storm. You're allowed to be hurt. Hinata looked up, surprised by the softness in that massive frame. You don't have to act okay. Tsukishima, to his credit, didn't roll his eyes this time. He just watched, and Hinata, for the first time all night, let his shoulders drop, his breath slow. I didn't think it would feel this bad, seeing him so fine, like I don't matter, like I never did. Lev placed a hand on his back, warm and wide. Then let us show you how much you do. Aon gave a single nod, steady and sure. You matter. And Tsukishima? He leaned in again, gaze a little softer this time. You were never the problem. And just like that, with one golden boy, one chaotic flirt, and one gentle giant flanking him, Hinata Shoyo realized something. He wasn't just broken open. He was finally being held. The Golden Villa was dim and warm. full of gentle lighting and the buzz of distant conversation. The energy shifted when Akaashi Keiji walked in. He moved like calm water, smooth, effortless, hard to read, but his eyes were sharp, scanning every detail of the room, every gesture of the other singles, every whisper of a potential threat. The bonfire was still burning behind his eyes, and Bakuto's laugh, that wide, open laugh he'd heard in the footage, still rang in his ears. He didn't expect to get more than a few steps before someone intercepted him. Osamu Miya, wine glass in hand, leaned against the kitchen archway, watching him with a glint of lazy interest. You walk like you own the place. That confidence is real. Or armor. Akaashi didn't slow. He moved past the archway and into the open living area, dropping his small bag by the couch. But Osamu followed, slowly, casually, like smoke curling behind a fire. What do you want? Miya, to feed you, maybe flirt with you, get under your skin, if you're into that. Akaashi turned, jaw tightening, but his eyes flickered. You're not him. Nah, but maybe that's the point. Before Akaashi could respond, a quiet voice joined them. Asahi Azumane, dressed in black linen and barefoot, stepped into the room like a shadow with warmth behind it. His voice was soft but steady. You don't have to talk if you don't want to. I can just sit with you. Akaashi blinked. That disarmed him more than anything Osamu had said. You want to sit in silence. I'm good at silence. I'm even better at listening. If you change your mind. Akaashi looked at him for a long moment, then gave a barely perceptible nod. And from behind the island counter, Daichi Saamura made his entrance, with a drink in one hand and his shirt rolled at the sleeves. Tan forearms flexed as he leaned down just enough to meet Akaashi's gaze. You ever been with someone who didn't need fixing? Akaashi raised a brow. You think I want to fix people? No, I think you want to be chosen without being dissected. For a second, Akaashi faltered. That hit 2M. You looked heartbroken at that bonfire. But I didn't see a man falling apart. I saw someone deciding whether he deserved better. And what did you decide? I'd like the chance to prove it to you. Before he could respond, Tsukishima, who had just left Hinata's side, casually strolled into the circle again, raising a brow. Didn't think I'd find two people I liked here, but you're growing on me. Akaashi, I'm not here to entertain you. Good. I'm not into easy people. Y'all are gonna fight or make out. Either way, I want front row seats. Akaashi exhaled slowly, but a smile, small and private, tugged at his lips. Maybe he didn't expect this. The pressure, the eyes, the interest. But he wasn't running from it either. Let the games begin, he muttered to himself. Later that night, the villa had quieted into a hum of voices, music, and the clinking of glasses. Most of the other singles had drifted to the pool, the hot tub, or tucked themselves into pockets of laughter and flirtation. Akaashi had slipped away, seeking calm, thinking he'd find it on the back patio alone. Instead, he found Osamu already there, leaned back in a low wooden chair, barefoot, shirt undone halfway, moonlight catching in his collarbone. Didn't peg you for the sneakin' off type. Akaashi hesitated. Didn't realize this spot was taken. Everything's taken until someone takes it back. He gestured to the chair across from him. Akaashi sat slowly, cautious, legs crossed, fingers intertwined neatly in his lap. There was a moment of silence. Not awkward, just thick, charged. You looked real sharp at that bonfire. It wasn't for show. Didn't say it was. But I think you dress like a man who wants control. Akaashi didn't respond. Betty liked that. Your boyfriend. A flicker of something passed over Akaashi's face. Hurt? Annoyance? Maybe both. He liked the idea of it. Osamu leaned forward, eyes glittering now, but not the reality. Quietly. No. The silence stretched again. But this time, Osamu got up, walked around, stood behind Akaashi's chair, close enough to feel his body heat slide down his neck. You ever think about how many pieces of yourself you shaved off to fit into his world? Akaashi turned slightly in his seat. I didn't shave anything. No? Then why do you look like you're wearing someone else's bones? That hit something deep. Akaashi's jaw clenched, but Osamu didn't press. He leaned in, close now, voice lower, slower. You've got this. Stillness, but it's not calm, it's compressed, like you're always about to snap. Akaashi's breath was starting to catch. Let someone make you come undone. Are you volunteering? Osamu smirked, lips inches from Akaashi's ear. I'm already halfway through the application process. Akaashi didn't move away, not even when Osamu's hand brushed the back of his chair, fingers ghosting along the wood. Then his shoulder. What would he say if he saw you letting me talk to you like this? Akaashi turned his head slowly. Their faces were close now. The tension was molten. He never listened long enough to hear anyone talk to me like this. A beat passed. Osamu's voice dropped to a whisper. Then maybe it's time someone did. And then, just for a second, Akaashi leaned in. Their lips didn't touch, but the air between them sparked. Temptation. Akaashi stood abruptly, his heart hammering. I need to go inside. Softly. You want me to follow? Akaashi paused in the doorway. He didn't say yes, but he didn't say no. The music was thumping. The lights, low, gold, and a little too red, danced across sweat-damp skin and glinting glasses. There was tequila in the air, something fruity, something dangerous. It was supposed to be a chill villa mixer, but somewhere between the second round of shots and semi-putting on a playlist called Pull Yo Skirt Up, it had turned into something hotter, wilder, looser. Oikawa was in his element, hair tousled, shirt unbuttoned to the navel, mouth slick from laughter and rum. Oshijima hovered close, always close, offering drinks. Steady hands, a body like a sculpted mountain waiting to be climbed, and Atsumu, already tipsy, flushed and loud in Aaron's lap, head thrown back laughing as Semi whispered something filthy in his ear. Then someone shouted, "Shot game." The circle formed fast, a bottle of tequila, a tray of tiny glasses, and a rule, take the shot from the body, no hands. Atsumu cackled, I've been training for this moment. The first round was innocent, lick the salt, take the shot. Bite the lime. By round 2, the shot was balanced on Daichi's chest. Who's brave enough? He grinned, eyes locked on Oikawa. Oikawa, grinning wide, strutted over. You asking or begging? He bent low, mouth brushing Daichi's collarbone as he tipped the shot glass with his lips, draining it, and letting the tequila dribble down his own chin, onto his neck. Daichi's eyes tracked it. Then, slow and deliberate, he leaned forward and licked a long, wet line up Oikawa's throat. Sweet. Daichi murmured against his skin, but I bet you taste even better. Desperate. Oikawa's breath hitched. On the other side of the patio, Atsumu wasn't paying attention, because Aaron had just laid him across his lap, draped over his thighs like a doll. Semi poured the shot onto Aaron's chest. Ready, baby. Atsumu leaned down, eyes gleaming, and took the shot with his mouth, teeth grazing Aaron's chest as he pulled back, cheeks flushed, licking his lips. I think I got drunker from that than the tequila, he whispered. Semi leaned down and licked the leftover alcohol from Atsumu's neck, mouthing, bet you taste like trouble. Atsumu shivered. I'm the whole crime scene. Then came the pool. Half the villa was already half naked. Someone shouted, chicken fight. Atsumu was on Aaron's shoulders, hair wet, body slick, eyes wild. Oikawa, laughing breathlessly, climbed onto Ushijima's shoulders. If I fall, you're catching me. I don't let what's mine fall. The fight was chaos, splashing, shouting, bodies colliding. Oikawa and Atsumu grabbed at each other like gladiators, yanking hair, slapping water, screaming laughter. You bitch, you pulled my hair, you licked my thigh. In the end, no one won, because both couples tumbled into the water together, tangled, gasping, and laughing like they forgot where they were, and who was watching. Oikawa surfaced first, brushing wet hair back. Ushijima was right behind him, hands on his hips, eyes hungry. You should wear less clothes more often, he said simply. Oikawa grinned, biting his lip. Say that again when they're off. Nearby, Atsumu was wrapped around Aaron like a second skin, whispering things into his ear that had Semi watching with his tongue pressed to his teeth. You're a brat, then punish me. There was heat, desire, regret waiting like a shadow on the wall. But for now, the music was loud, the night was young, and no one, not Atsumu, not Oikawa, was thinking about their boyfriends anymore. The tequila hadn't even cooled on Oikawa's skin when Matsukawa appeared behind him, towel draped casually over his shoulder, shirt gone, sweatpants riding dangerously low on his hips. Matsukawa, didn't know you were still into messy games. Oikawa turned, eyes narrow. I didn't know you were still following me around like a bad decision. Matsukawa smirked. You liked my bad decisions. His voice was low, thick with old history and unspoken nights. He stepped closer, bare chest brushing against Oikawa's damp one, and took the lime from Oikawa's hand, the one left over from Daichi's shot. Let me remind you what that mouth is good for, he said, then bit into the lime, his eyes never leaving Oikawa's. Oikawa's heart stuttered. You trying to compete with Daichi now? He asked, lips curving. I'm not competing, I'm reclaiming. Oikawa laughed, but it was breathless. You never had me to begin with. Matsukawa leaned in, mouth inches from his ear. Baby, I didn't need to have you. I left my fingerprints on you years ago. Oikawa went still. His breath caught. His skin flushed in a way that had nothing to do with alcohol. And then, very slowly, Matsukawa reached out, traced a single wet trail down Oikawa's arm with his finger, dragging the sweat and tequila into a smear of heat. You gonna let me lick that off too? He asked, voice like gravel and honey. Oikawa didn't answer, but he didn't pull away either. Across the pool, Atsumu turned his head just in time to see it, and whistled. Oikawa, you tryna collect tempters like infinity stones? Oikawa, without looking, jealousy doesn't suit you. Atsumu. Matsukawa chuckled and stepped back, the tension pulsing like bass between them. I'm not here to flirt. No, I'm here to finish what we never started. The party was in full swing, neon light reflecting off the pool, music thumping, bodies moving, but Kenma couldn't hear it anymore. It all felt too loud and too far at once. He was shaking, not from the cold, not from fear, but from pure, white-hot panic. Then, crash, Kenma slammed his controller into the patio floor. It exploded in pieces across the tile. Fuck this. Fuck all of this. He screamed so loud the music briefly dipped. A few tempters turned to stare. Kenma stumbled backward from the lounge chair, fists clenched at his sides, voice rising, cracked and raw. He laughed. He sat there and let that asshole say I was tame? Like I'm some pet. Like I don't fucking matter. I spent years trying to be enough for him. Fucking years. He paced violently, hands tugging at his hoodie, jaw tight enough to cram. And now I'm here, with a bunch of strangers, watching my boyfriend just fucking melt for someone else? For fucking Yaku of all people. He let out another scream, guttural, desperate. He kicked the broken controller away. I don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I want to go home. I want to fucking disappear. His chest heaved. Tears were now pouring down his face, hot and unstoppable. His voice cracked on the next scream. Why does this fucking hurt so much? He dropped to the floor, fists banging once against the stone. That's when Aon approached. Quiet, steady, a looming shadow against the chaos. No words, just a slow crouch beside him. Kenma saw the movement and flinched. Don't fucking come near me. But Aon didn't stop, didn't speak, didn't flinch. He simply lowered himself further, sitting beside Kenma on the floor, legs crossed, hands on his knees, like a fucking rock. Kenma's voice trembled as he shoved his hands through his hair. Say something. Scream at me. Tell me I'm being pathetic. Everyone else always does. Aon blinked, then shook his head, slowly. No. One word. That was it. It cracked something. Kenma turned away from him sharply, curling forward into himself. But he didn't move away. He couldn't, because despite everything, despite the noise in his head, Aon's stillness felt like gravity. That's when Terashima approached from the side. His tattoos were barely visible under his shirt, hair damp from the pool, but his eyes were sharp, focused. You want to disappear? Kenma didn't respond. That's okay, but maybe try something else first. Kenma scoffed, voice wet and bitter. Like what? Bury my feelings in a blowjob? Isn't that what you're here for? Terashima, smiling, but not joking. Nah, I'm here to make you feel, even if you hate me for it. Kenma looked at him slowly, red-eyed and furious. I don't feel. That's the whole fucking point. That's why I work. I don't fall apart like this. I don't care this much. I'm not built for this. Then maybe you're finally breaking the code. He knelt beside Kenma now too, not touching him, but close enough to offer warmth. You've been trying to glitch through your life like it's a fucking game, Kenma. But this is the real thing, and you're bleeding emotion whether you like it or not. Fuck you. Kenma whispered, voice raw. If it helps. Sure. Kenma finally slumped, shoulders sagging, breath shallow, body trembling. Aon placed a hand on the ground beside him, not on him, just near, safe, quiet, there. Kenma looked at it, then looked at them, the boy who didn't talk, the boy who didn't shut up, and for the first time in what felt like years, he let himself cry with people, not in spite of them, not fixed, not fine, but seen. And maybe, just maybe, temptation wouldn't start with heat. Maybe, for him, it would start with being held together when he was ready to come undone. The villa was quieter now. The music had softened to a slow pulse, like the heartbeat of a body finally winding down after a night of dancing and desire. Half-drunk shot glasses glinted on patio tables. A half-deflated pool float drifted listlessly under the moonlight. Laughter still echoed faintly from one corner, but it was slurred now. Tired, dazed, the aftermath of indulgence. Hinata sat on the edge of the pool, legs kicking in the water. His face was tight, still a little flushed from holding back tears. But Tsukishima, of all people, sat beside him, arms looped over his knees like he wasn't entirely sure why he stayed. Lev lay sprawled across a sun lounger nearby, upside down, his legs dangling off the side, humming to himself. Aeon was inside, probably cleaning up, silently, kindly, like he always did. Akaashi had gone somewhere with Osamu, and nobody had seen them come back yet. Kenma had fallen asleep, or maybe just passed out, curled on the sofa, hoodie still pulled over his face. A blanket had been tossed over him by someone, probably Aeon, maybe Hiroshima, who now sat on the steps watching the stars and mumbling to himself like a poet gone wrong. In the back, where the tiki lights had burned hottest earlier, Oikawa was wiping whipped cream off his collarbone and laughing with Matsukawa and Daichi, half scandalized, half thrilled. Oshijima had long since disappeared, quiet as always, leaving his mark with nothing but the memory of Oikawa's flushed neck. And Atsumu? Atsumu had gone quiet. The night had started with games, with flirting and shots and pool splashing and smirks, with Aaron's hands on his waist and Semi's lips near his ear, whispering things that made his spine twist. But the fire in his chest now wasn't from desire, it was from that clip, from that look on Sakusa's face, and it wouldn't leave him alone. The villa shimmered under the weight of everything they weren't saying, all the confessions they hadn't made, all the boundaries they were about to cross, all the things they swore they wouldn't feel, because temptation wasn't just knocking anymore, it had moved in, and it was getting comfortable.